Ok, so esto es algo que no se debe pasar nunca por alto, que es llenar la caja de agua con agua hasta la mitad. Sí, primero, eso es muy importante. Si no, con 4 o 5 pistonazos él empieza a quemar el rubber del pistón y eso es una gran embarrada. Y huele a caucho quemado si uno no le ha echado agua. Y créeme que hay gente que se le olvida y se tira los pistones de ahí hasta la mitad. Listo, él ya garantizó que tiene flujo de agua, él ya conectó las mangueras, él ahorita está preparando el primer en un bucket y ya te voy a mostrar cómo se hace eso. Vamos a ver si ese tiene el... ¿Es that a double pack?
One pack.
Ok.
One pack is slip pack for every 100 yards.
Ok. Don Kerlin, un pack de esos cada 100 yardas. Vamos a tirar 18, o sea que con uno es más que suficiente.
100 feet of hose.
Oh, 100 feet of hose, sorry. Entonces son cada 100 pies de manguera.
Okay.
Ajá. You're gonna fill it all the way? Okay. Okay, bueno, él dice que él lo va a llenar hasta todo. Eso es preferencia del operario. Y él lo va a llenar todo. Is there any reason to fill up all the way?
The cylinders, when one's pushing to push the concrete out, the other one's sucking back. It's sucking concrete
Oh,
back in.
gotcha.
The water keeps the pressure so the concrete doesn't get plugged.
Oh, okay. Segundo paso, hacer ese mix. Y entre más tiempo uno lo deje y lo revuelva, más baboso se pone. Y eso es muy sticky. Y es biodegradable, entonces eso no tiene ningún problema. Y él lo hace aquí y no allá para revolverlo, para que todo ese polvillo ajá. Fíjate que es muy importante también andar con una manguera siempre para hacerle jugo a la salida de agua. Y ahora él va a llenar ese
About 15 gallons of water.
15,
In front of the slip pack.
okay. 15 gallons of water on the hopper? No.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna go down in the hose. The slip pack behind it, and concrete behind that.
Gotcha.
That way
Primero
when they get up
agua.
there and it comes out, water comes out first, and they know it's coming.
Gacha. Primero agua, 15 galones de agua en el hopper, luego le va a echar esto y luego sí el concreto. Ajá, correcto. Ahora vas a ver. I'm gonna close the water box. El chute, ¿sabes manejar ese chute? Y él tiene un control en la cabina para eso. Y lo que hay que indicarle es que preferiblemente quede siempre en el centro del hopper, ese chute. Él va a mojar ahora todo eso, va a lubricarlo con agua, el chute y todo, para que no se pegue el concreto. Hay gente que hace eso con ácido o con una mezcla entre gasolina y aceite hidráulico para garantizar de que no se pegue al metal el concreto. Que el concreto en esta temperatura seca muy rápido, pero como este concreto está mojado, entonces no tendrá ese problema. No. You want me to hold that?
Yes, this doesn't have hook catch. They're going to want... You might want to tell them they wanted a sample in this box.
Yeah.
It's gonna have to come out at the end of the hose.
Oh, ok.
I mean, no, I'll grab it out of here.
Ok, gotcha. Eso es una muestra del concreto que van a tirar, que la necesita el inspector y él se la va a recoger directamente ahí del shop.
Whatever slump that they ordered, like they ordered a 9-inch slump. You want it to go in here wetter than that. I'm gonna have him put in a 10, because by the time it travels through 150 feet of hose, it's gonna come out a 9 there. It's drying up the whole way. Okay? So if they, like right now, he said he was at his 8, they go to 9. He's got 10 yards. For every 10 yards, for every yard you want a gallon of water to raise it 1 inch. So he had 10 yards, so I told him 20. So I wanted to go from an 8 to a 10. So by the time it comes out, it'll be a 9.
Se seca en el recorrido.
Claro.
Pero al final va a salir el 9. Por eso lo ordena 10 de acuerdo a la cantidad de manguera. Él tiene que agregarle agua ahí, sí. Sí, ahí yo creo que le está agregando el agua, por eso está haciendo más rápido. Está mezclando el cemento que él traía con un poco de más agua para aumentarlo a 10.
Porque de aquí a que llegue, por ejemplo, el número, mientras baja tu el número más denso, ¿correcto?
Sí. No,
Entonces,
espérate. Oh, yeah, thank you, sir.
ya no se necesita más, ¿eso lo va a llevar?
Sí, él se la va a llevar por ahora, pero para llenar el tanque de él.
Oh, es el señor.
Ajá. No, eso no es el señor.
Ese no es el de...
Él es el dueño del camión.
¿Qué esperan ahora?
Que eso se convierta en un 10
Un 10.
para poderlo vertir aquí como 10 y salga en la punta
Porque es que se va secando.
con el agua de él.
Él tiene agua. Entonces eso es algo que ¿quién especifica? ¿Él o el operador?
El operador puede decirlo, pero el dueño de la obra también. Si esto tiene, hey, how many feet are right now installed?
Right now, only 100.
100.
That was the other
So
50 of them.
every 100 you have to order one more unit per.
One more pack of split pack.
No, I mean
Water.
water. Yeah, the concrete. You order a 10.
Okay, no, they ordered a 9. I made it a 10 because about every 100 feet it's gonna lose 1 inch.
Okay.
So if he put it in at a 9, it's gonna come out at an 8.
Entonces cada 100 pies él pierde 1 pulgada de agua de eso en el slump. Entonces por eso le está poniendo.
They've done studies on it. There's a concrete control board that's over all of this for the state of Florida. These are the guidelines that they have put in place that everybody follows.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like,
Who
right
ordered
now,
that?
who determines, okay, now it's so and so, and by the time it gets up there,
There's actually a slump test that you can do. They have a little panel and it's a little cone shape that make it.
No, yeah, but
they don't ever do it here.
what she means is whose responsibility is to say.
yeah.
It is the driver's responsibility to deliver the correct slump. Now he told me he's an 8. Like say they ordered an 8, and I'm like, fine. I want to see a little bit first. Don't just start pouring. I want to see a little bit. From my experience, I know about what it's
looks like.
be.
Yeah.
You'll get to know it as you see it. They've got videos online. You can see pictures of different slumps and all kinds of stuff. Since you guys haven't quite driven it,
Yeah.
get a chance to see it that much. Anything from a 7 and above is going to pour like water. The higher the slump is, the more water it's going to be. When you get to like a 5 and a 6, it's going to be like yogurt. You know, it's going to have a smooth little shine to it, but it's not going to be clumpy like dirt.
Yeah.
Anything under a 5 is going to be harder and harder and harder. And that's pretty much the best guess line.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'll educate myself
Now,
on that.
do your thing, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
be.
Let me see a little bit of it before we start, please. We'll go here. Yeah.
Que la controle para que bombee bajito, que esa pared está terminada.
Exacto, exacto. Hey! Good? Yeah. Dale. Yeah. I think that's fine. Do not lower the RPM.
That's it. It's all the way in.
Okay, try like that. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, feel like that. Ahí. So that's a good volume. Yeah, leave it like that. And put your RPM.
No bombea más.
No, es que ya te explico. Ven, yo te explico. Lo que pasa es que hay dos clases de bombas. Las que regulan el volumen por los RPM del engine, pero esta es más sofisticada. Esta tiene un control de volumen del hidráulico para controlar el volumen. Entonces eso estaba...
Aunque esté alta,
Exactamente. Y es bueno siempre tenerla alta. Es bueno siempre tener el RPM del motor alto, para que fluya siempre bastante hidráulico como ella necesita. Como estamos operando, no se debe hacer. Uno no debe operar la máquina a bajo RPM.
Pero ya se le reguló.
Sí, correcto. Es que yo me acordé porque yo he bombeado, ¿sí? Y esa es la particularidad que tienen estas máquinas, que uno les gradúa el volumen con un control de volumen que está atrás del engine. Y ese concreto lo están tirando ellos ahí, eso no se puede tirar. Se les está saliendo por la rejilla.
Eso es el problema de nosotros, ¿verdad que no?
Exacto, no, eso es problema de que la selló. Y este es un buen volumen.
Ese es un buen volumen.
Ajá, porque muy líquido y entonces no puede hacer pa, porque no alcanza a bajar el concreto, a llenar.
¿Y ese tutum que hace la máquina?
No, ese es el cambio.
Ese es el cambio, switcheo entre un cilindro y el otro. Eso que estás oyendo es un pistón haciendo para un lado derecho y para el izquierdo para switchear la cosa que está dentro. No, la cosa que está dentro que switchea entre los dos cilindros. Entonces él descarga un cilindro y carga el otro. Cuando descarga uno y carga el otro, él mueve el rock valve hacia el otro y viene y descarga este.
El otro. Entonces así se...
Son como un par de inyecciones que tiene abajo la máquina. Pero entonces, la responsabilidad del operario es conectar, revisar también de que las mangueras estén bien conectadas. Aquí toca hacer lo que ellos están diciendo porque ya lo han hecho y todo, pero yo no lo haría. Y que el otro está puto porque el concreto le está poniendo viejo y lo va a tener que botar. Eso no es problema de que uno tiene hasta una hora antes. O sea, el concreto no se hace hasta una hora antes. O sea, uno puede retrasar el concreto desde una hora antes porque no lo han hecho todavía, no lo han despachado.
Lo que pasa fue que él no estuvo hasta anoche con la hora.
Como si él lo hubiera dicho ya antes de que ellos cierren, preparamos la salida más temprano.
Claro. Ahora, como les explicó Jason, la bomba es facilísima de operar, súper fácil. El problema siempre se los va a dar el concreto. Siempre les va a retrasar el concreto. Uno tiene que estar muy seguro de qué clase de concreto la que uno está bombeando, de hacer el priming, o sea, el problema realmente va a ser más el concreto, estar pendiente siempre del concreto. Ahora él chorrió toda la máquina de concreto. Eso hay que correrlo a limpiar con agua, de una, y bajar todo eso.
O sea, que ya eso se secó, eso no...
Sí, eso que está en el piso, eso ya se va a secar y se va a quedar.
Ya eso se secó.
Sí, pero ahí ya no quedó nada de concreto. Lo que ves ahí es el Portland o la... Eso sale con agua. Lo importante es no dejar la mezcla como es el concreto como tal, porque la mezcla, el concreto es una mezcla, que si está hecha bien la mezcla, ya se queda ahí pegada. Y si se le pega, por ejemplo, a esa cosa que está switchando, ahí tenemos un problema. Pero por eso él corrió a limpiarlo todo rápido.
Entonces, este camión, esa mezcla se dañó, eso es lo que él dice.
No, nada se ha dañado. El concreto está bien. El temor del señor del concreto era que eso se le fuera a dañar, que se le fuera a secar, porque el concreto se pone viejo y ya no se puede bombear y toca botarlo, y eso de concreto vale plata. Entonces, si ves, en esta máquina uno regula los RPMs bastante cuando uno está bombeando y después lo hunde cuando uno ya no está bombeando, pero el volumen se cuadra de la perilla que yo ahorita les voy a mostrar.
Ya, ese camión ya terminó.
Creo que sí. Ajá.
Ya, ese camión ya terminó.
Sí, creo que sí. Entonces él va a esperar el otro camión, pero él no puede dejar.
Él no puede dejar, vete a ver lo que él hace.
Exactamente. Y él está quitando todo esa arenilla, que eso es como Portland. Esa es una parte solamente de la mezcla del concreto, ya no se va a endurecer ahí. We're gonna move that way. Hey, nos vamos a mover para allá. Sí, porque tenemos que mover todo, manguera, todo. Entonces, ya vamos a ver qué nos dice el operador. Cuidado porque...
No.
Ajá. Ya.
Pero está lleno.
Sí. Ella, cuando usted abre, va a regar concreto. ¡Prrra! Usted va a abrir ahí en esa clamp y eso va a regar concreto. Entonces esta va a vaciar, ellos la van a poder mover hasta allá y vamos a volver a conectar allá.
Stay on this side.
Okay.
Just gonna pull my hose that way.
Okay.
I don't want to run over the hose.
Okay.
Canceled the second truck completely, and it wasn't coming. We would have done this as soon as he was done. Push the last of the concrete out. If you've got another truck already on the way, you ask the driver, and they've already left the plant, go ahead, do your 15 minutes, because he'll be here in just any minute. You know what I mean? But if you don't have a truck on the way, yeah, go ahead and push it out just like we did. Put water in the hopper, push the concrete all the way out, run water through it 2-3 times, and then I'm going to break it off, and I'm going to put a sponge. I was telling him like a little foamy material, rip the couch open, that little cushion on the inside. I'm going to put that in the hose, and I'm going to fill it up with water, do the same thing again. And you're going to push that sponge all the way through, because when you're pushing water, it will come out, but it'll jump over pieces of sand and rock, and it won't push them out. That sponge will create an airtight seal, and it'll push the last of everything out. Now what's in there right now, it's not concrete anymore, it's just
Sand and rocks.
So it's not going to set up, and you're never going to get it out again. So we don't have to put the sponge in it right now, because we got another truck on the way, and that's going to blow it out anyway. But at the end of the day, when you're all done, you're going to wash it, you're going to take it home, push the sponge through, and get it all out of the hose as much as you can. Because when you throw them on your back of the truck like this, if you've still got chunks of sand and rock all along the way, you're driving down the road, and you're hitting bumps, it's going to start blowing out, and it's going to hit other cars. You know what I mean? But it's not going to like set up like concrete, and you're never going to get it out.
Bueno, explícame el proceso.
Okay.
Es decir, llegamos, okay, prendemos.
He wants to know from the first step, what will you do? What will you have to do?
From the first step, you mean when we're done with the job?
No.
Or like from the
No,
beginning?
we're heading to a job. What's
Okay.
the first thing that he needs to
As soon
do?
as I get to the job, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna walk around and see where they want me to pump, because I need to know exactly how much hose I'm gonna use, if I have to go up scaffolding like this, all this kind of stuff goes into play. I'm gonna line up all my hoses. I'm gonna put them all the way out of the job, clamp them together already where they're gonna be. That way, because hopefully if it's on the ground and it's not a job like this, we want to prime out on the ground. When I get everything all clamped together, I'm gonna go get a bucket. I need a slip pack. I'm over 100 feet. I'm gonna mix it up in the bucket. 1 pack of slip packs, water, mix it up, and I'm gonna let that. The longer it sets, the slipperier it gets. So don't worry about it sitting like I've got a bucket ready for us for the next truck. Once you get all that in, you're going to fill up your water box. You want to get the water box full of water so that there's the cups for the cylinders. You don't want those to like dry pump. It'll deform the cups, and concrete will start getting in your water box and start setting up in your pump. I'm going to put about 10 or 15 gallons of water right in the hopper. Right, once I've got everything clamped together and I'm ready to go, I want that water to push through first. Once I spray off the whole thing because I want it to be wet. Because when concrete hits it, it'll be easier to spray it off if it's already wet than if it's dry. I'm gonna take the slip pack. When the truck's gonna pull up, I'm gonna back him up. When I get him all backed up, I'm gonna find out what kind of slump I have, what they want. I'm gonna tell him I want to see a little sample. When he thinks he's ready, I want to see a little bit. I don't want him to just dump right into the truck. When I see it and I'm comfortable with the concrete that's coming out, that's when I'm going to put my slip pack in. You don't want to put the slip pack in and then have it sit there and you got 20 minutes of stuff you got to do, because then it kind of gets gooey in your pump and you're going to plug it up right there because of the slip pack. So right when you're ready to put the concrete in, that's when you put the slip pack. Spray it down real quick with water, dump the concrete right on top of it, and you're going to go to prime out. You don't want the machine to be in full blast. You want it to pump about 1 pump every second. So you're going to go pump, pump, pump till you see the concrete come out the end. Water's going to come out first. That way the hose knows the slip pack's about to come out, then the concrete, he can get it where it needs to go. Once concrete's all the way through the line, you can stop it. You can speed up the revs to whatever setting you want, and just do your job at that point. Stuff to think about, you know, summertime it's hotter. Right now, concrete's going to set up faster than it is in December, even though Florida's hot anytime. But if you're going up like this, there's more pressure. So you're going to need more power to get it up. That's why, you know, we had that plug earlier when we were waiting. We had to get it out down here. When you do prime out, as much as possible, you want the hose on the ground. If it doesn't, because you're already down to a lower strength, because you're keeping it slower. You want to prime out on the ground and then get it to the job. We had to in this situation because we're already on the second story, and the only reason we could was because we had the concrete wet up to 10 or 11 foot slump. If we had a 5-inch slump, no way. We got to prime out on the ground. They got to lift it with their heavy equipment to get it to the job. The only reason we could do it today is because it runs like water. Okay. Pump my job out. When I'm starting to get close to the end, I was telling you, there's a couple of things.
I'm sorry, time out. Okay, he said the water is pouring, and also
Now they want to know how to operate the actual machine, what everybody do, and how you operate it with the remote control.
Sure. Okay. Well, come on over. Like today, what we do, this is going to be the manual control over the cylinders, how fast they're pumping mechanically.
That controls the volume, the amount of oil is running through the system.
Yes, for your hydraulic pressure.
That controls the speed of the strokes.
This is going to be your throttle control for your RPMs for the engine. You can press the button in and pull it all the way out to go up to top speed. You can dial it down just a little bit at a time like that.
that's what you were controlling it from before. When he gets less,
when I was trying to slow it down. I was trying to slow the engine down to the speed he wanted, and he wanted to go so low that it was going to stall it out. So we put the RPMs back up and we slowed down the cylinders.
Is that any harm to the machine to do it from there?
With the lower slumps, yes. The only reason I did it was, again, today's a special job where it's, you know, a 10-inch slump. There's not that much pressure at all because of what's going on. Okay. 9 times out of 10, you just want to leave it up full RPMs. Yep. You're going to see it. It's going to come up around 2100 on the RPM gauge. This is the gauge of the pressure that's going through the hose, the bar. I was telling him earlier today, you know, normally we're going to operate it, you're going to see pressures right around 100 bar, 150 bar, and it's going to sit right around here. It's not going to be up there till it goes to pump. And it's going to go to pump, and you're going to see it hit up to 100 and come back down. Your particular machine, it has 2 strokes. Every other stroke's a little stronger than the other one. So your first pump is going to be right around 100 bar. Then that second pump is going to jump up to 200, 150 or 200, and then the next one will go back down to 100. It's every other one. When it plugs and it can't pump, one, you're not going to hear this thudding. It's not going to pump.
It's not gonna bang. No.
When I got plugged earlier, I don't know if you guys heard it. It kind of did a little whining sound, and it was just solid. There was no pump. It was just wee. It can't push to even do the thud.
The other, okay.
Okay, so when you got that happening, there's a plug. The best thing you can do in that situation until you figure out where it is, just go ahead and stop it from pumping. Because when it's trying to pump, whatever water you have in the concrete here, it's sucking the water out of the concrete, trying to pump it through. So if you try to pump too much when you have a plug, you will dry this completely out. And when that happens, then you're going to have to break this off. You're going to have to dig this out, rinse it all out before you can even try to push through the hose. If you catch a plug fast enough, you turn it off. You guys have a reverse function here that we're going to talk about. You can put it in reverse, pump it in reverse a couple times, put it back in forward, pump it back through to break a plug out. If you try that 2 or 3 times and it still doesn't get the plug out, don't try it anymore. Just put it in forward, pump until it stops for the plug, and then we can walk the hose like we talked about. When you're standing on the hose, you can see the hose press down, especially right now because there's nothing in it. Even when there's something in it, it might depress just a little bit, but you'll see it depress. If you stand on it and it's solid metal and it's not going anywhere, there's concrete, it's not set up, but there's so much pressure on it, there's no movement. If it's hard like this, the plug is past it, it's somewhere over here. So just keep walking until you get to soft, and then you're past the plug. Then you can go to wherever your next connection is and break it off and try to use the plug out. That's how you get the plug out. This is your control over your forward and your reverse. When it's all the way down like this,
Forward.
it's pushing out. So and forward.
Where's the neutral?
Neutral
Right there in the middle.
When you push it all the way up, it's in reverse. Okay? Obviously your emergency stop buttons, you got 2 of them right here.
That's emergency stop. That will kill the machine.
Yeah. If you can't get to the key, if you're up there and maybe there's just a truck guy down here, he's gonna hit this. He doesn't know how to operate your machine, but he knows this is gonna turn it off. Okay? The batteries go dead on your remote.
Which one?
And your remote stops working.
This one?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
I believe it has another one in the other side too.
There's
So in total, it got 3.
Exactly.
Oh, 3 emergency stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a dummy plug to tell your machine in case you don't know where your remote is anymore. This is telling the machine that it can operate and you can operate it manually. If you take this plug out and you don't have the remote, it's not going to work. The machine won't run.
That's a dummy plug. Always stays on.
And it tells you about it right there. This is your operation from remote to manual. Right now I've got it on the remote. That's this little circle. If you flip it up to the little line through it, you're only going to run it manually. And manual takes precedence over remote. So if you're running it on the remote, you're up there and somebody comes over here and flips this up, it's going to keep pumping. Because it's in pump, but you won't be able to stop it with
Yeah,
the remote.
it kills the remote signal. And now it's manual mode.
Exactly.
What's the bottom setting?
That's it. There's only 2. Well, I mean, in the middle is off. The bottom is remote, and the top
and
is
we
manual.
can leave it in remote all the time.
You can leave it in
Yeah.
remote. That's not going to hurt it. This is your stopper to let the water out of your water box, which I'm going to go ahead and do because we're going to spray it out, and I'll fill it up again for the next truck.
Yeah. That's when you end up
At the end of the job, you want to run the water out of your box because even with good cups and everything, as it's pumping, it's going to pull in some cementitious material, some cement. And if you let it sit in there, it'll set up in the water box. It's going to mess your cups up, maybe a little oil gets in there. It's just going to degrade stuff, and you don't need it to have that happen.
Yeah, always keep your water box empty. That's it. Okay.
We don't need to spray
This-
the water box with sediments.
Those are
So
fuses.
your fuses for your battery, you got lights in case you got no
warning
power, your warning light for your battery, for your low oil, for your fan. Your fan that's cooling it off. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
air cooled.
This is the switch. Always leave this on because we're in Florida.
Yeah.
The level gauge of the hydraulic oil and the
hydraulic
temperature.
Yes.
What else?
So right now it's still pretty high, even though the machine is off.
Yes, it's still hot. It takes it a little while to cool down.
What's a little while?
I'd say in the sun, a couple hours, and it's not going to completely cool off. You get it
Yeah.
back to your place of business, you're in the day or something like that, yeah, about an hour. It's going to cool off to a normal temperature. It's still going to stay around that level. You're not going to see it go up over that black bar, which is too much oil, unless you put too much in. But you don't want it to be all the way up here, because like we said, when we turn it on,
Yeah,
and the oil heats
overfill.
up, it expands. It'll overfill itself.
So that gauge is for the temperature of the oil or the quantity of the oil?
Both.
You can see the temperature in the degrees. that's
Yeah.
on.
See,
So what is the normal?
the yellow thing. That's the hydraulic oil. That's your level. The yellow thing, and the red thing is telling you the temperature of it.
Oh, I got
That's
you.
the mercury in there.
Oh, I
the
see.
red.
Okay, so no, it shouldn't go. Right now it's about 160. It shouldn't go higher than what? Than 180?
Yeah,
Yep.
you're not going to see it. The red, you're not going to see it go up over the 180 unless. Okay, so then you're doing your job. Concrete goes through. Try to stop as few times as possible, but you know, certain jobs you do got to stop at different places. If they got to get you to stop, you know, you don't want to sit for 30 minutes not doing anything. 10, 15 minutes, you want to do a pump. Even if it's onto the ground, you know, they got to understand. You can't just sit in the line.
No, always running.
Okay? It's always going to be running. When you're all done, there's concrete in the hose all the way. When it starts, I was telling you earlier when we were by the machine, when you got a mixer turning, when it starts getting down to its last yard and a half, you're going to hear it start getting rocky. You're going to hear like gravel falling as it turns. When, if you're far enough away that you can't hear it, if you see the mixer drum speed up to its normal flying, he's pushing out the last of his water and everything. That's it. He's about to be done. Stop your pump. Because you want to be as full as you can be when you're done.
When you're done.
One, in case you gotta wait, or two, just because you gotta push out what's in the line. You know what I mean? So if they got a little bit they want somewhere else, you might need to move, you might need to pump it out. If you're all pumped and you're done, now your only option is to clean out. So that's all you can do. Once you are there, if you have concrete or water, whatever's in here, you're gonna pump it down to the bottom, and once it gets down to the bottom, you fill it up with water. You don't want to continue pumping with nothing in it. You're going to create an air pocket. It's going to create a flow.
So
It's
once
gonna
the water
separate
goes
the sand
down,
and the rock.
stop.
Yeah, once it gets down to the bottom, stop pumping, fill it up with water again. Because you don't want there to be a break in that pressure so that you can push the concrete all the way out. Once you get it down to water, like you guys saw, it's just water. I know it's still dirty and dark, but the cement part is gone. It's not going to set up. So you're pushing out sand, you're pushing out rock. You put 2 or 3 hoppers. I'd do it 3 for about 100 feet. You're doing 3 hoppers. A full hopper will push out about 50 feet of hose. So if I've got 100 feet, I'm gonna do a couple of hoppers. Anything over that, I'm definitely doing at least 3. You know, if you've got extra time and you want to do more, then you might not have to do your sponge. If you put 6 hoppers of water through it, you're not worried about the sponge. If you're not in the middle of a job like we are, and you're done, and you know you're done, don't worry about having this turned down so low. Turn it up to its max pressure. Okay, so you're going to turn this knob and turn it up to the left. You're going to get your cylinders pumping, max straight, RPMs all the way up, because you're just pushing water. There's nothing to stop. If you give it all of its strength, it's going to knock all that sand and that rock out. You put a good 5, 6 hoppers full if you can. If you're on a job site, they'll let you push that much water through. You push that much water through it, your sand and your rock's out. You don't even have to worry about sponge. But some places you don't have access to water like that. You don't have that much water. They don't have an area where it's, you know, dirt like this, so they don't care if a whole bunch of water gets on there. You can't use that much water. So as long as you get a good 2 hoppers full of water pushed through, we're going to break it off right here at the bottom. You guys are going to see me in a minute. I'm going to spray it out. I'm going to put it in reverse because your particular machine, I'm going to be putting water in here. I want to clean out your cylinders because you guys still have concrete in there. So I'm going to put it in reverse and I'm going to have it pumping without the hose on there. And I'm going to have your drain pan opened up. So the water that's pumping through is just going to fall right out. But that way it's sucking all the way through the cylinder. Anything that's in there, it's pumping it out and it's coming right out on the ground. We're going to spray all down the inside, get it off of your fins that spin around. You don't want any buildup on that. You want to try to get it as clean as you can, because like we were talking about earlier, if it's going to build up slowly over time and more bit, eventually you're going to be on a job. It might not be the next one, it might not be for 2 weeks from now. A piece is going to break off, it's going to get in your hose somewhere and it's going to plug up. And then when you go to break that plug out and you get it out, then there's this big chunk of rock and a whole bunch of wet concrete. The superintendent knows that rock didn't come from this job. This is you not cleaning out your pump. So now he's bitching that his job site's off, you know, and it's just something that it's easily taken care of. Besides just normal maintenance of the machine. We can break this off. I'm gonna put my sponge right in here when I'm all done. Put it back together. Once I've rinsed all the way through, put it in reverse and everything, I'm gonna fill it up just like we do at the beginning of clean out. Fill it up with water. I'm gonna push water through until I see that sponge come all the way out. It'll catch any sand, rock that's left over in the hoses, and then it's spotless.
Maintenance.
Maintenance as far as greasing the machine, you're going to grease it after every job. And if you're on a big job, you're going to grease it after every 50 yards of concrete. Okay? So
After or before?
well, you're already going to grease it at the end of every job. So before you got there, you greased it from the last job.
Okay.
So
So you're going to start pumping. You go through 50 yards of concrete, you stop, and you grease it. You don't have to clean out, but you pump all the little parts to it.
Where? Where and how?
The particular greasings on this one, you got one right here.
Yep. That's for the remixer.
Where?
Right here.
Okay.
You got another one right
Grease
here.
fittings over here. The one that you're talking about, Mr. Warren.
And these two.
And those two grease fittings right there. And you just put grease until you see grease come out. You're going to see pieces of it come out here. You're going to see pieces of grease come out here.
Oh, that was yours. I thought it was mine.
I'm sending all kind of people random texts.
Okay.
Besides the normal clean out with the water and doing the grease, you know, you're going to do, this is your fuel filter right here. This is about normal, maybe a little darker for the yellow for operating over time. If this ever starts turning black, you got to change this fuel filter out, because if this gets clogged up, sand could be in your fuel tank. It could have dirt, whatever it's gotten in the system. If this gets clogged up, your machine will overheat because it's not getting enough fuel through. It's trying to pull it through. It won't fire on all of the pistons, and you could start overheating for that purpose.
And
How often does that change as maintenance? Just as it gets darker?
Yeah, just when it starts turning black on you, it's time to change it. I mean, this is a brand new filter. That's what a brand new cleaner.
Okay.
You're going to see all the way through it. You're going to see it turn brown.
What is your experience after every how many hours of?
Honestly, it just depends on the kind of work that you're doing, where you're at. If you're in lots of environments like this, or you're on the road doing curb, there's no real general.
Okay.
But
Just keep an eye on it.
I would think you guys would get easily through probably 1,000 yards of concrete before you're going to be changing anything like that. Unless you're in the dirt just all the time and maybe something goes wrong with the fuel tank or something like that. If a hose pops off while you're on the job and some dust gets blown in there, you're going to accumulate more over time. But it's easily where you can see it and see it changing. And you can change
And the fuel tank is?
This is your fuel tank. This is where you put this one right here.
Any other? And operators should always be like he was telling me, Juan Pablo, always be by his machine.
Yes, you will always want to know what's going on with your machine. I've seen oil filters pop off after a bunch of jobs, and if you're not by your machine, now it's dumping your oil that you have, and you're up there. Something like that happens, and you don't see it. Now you run out of oil, your machine's not working, and you got concrete and everything, and you don't have a way to push it out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You want to be by the machine so you can hear it pumping. If it catches a plug and it's doing that whine, you're not going to hear it across this building.
You gotta be there.
God bless drivers, they try to be the best they can be, but they're pouring out the concrete. I mean, they might be dumping all over this thing, overfilling it, and you don't know because you can't get it how fast they're going. Here we go.
Well, at least we didn't.
So let me break this off and spray out the cylinders real quick so we can get going for the next one.
Yeah, man.